Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking all about Brussels sprouts, what makes them so amazing and why you should probably be eating them. So I decided to highlight this food today because Brussels sprouts are in season right now and a lot of us are probably going to be eating them around the holidays. And if you're not, well, maybe after this video it'll give you some more reasons to. This is a continuation of the Amazing Food series. So if you like the content in this video and you want to learn about some more foods, definitely check out the Amazing Foods playlist, see what foods I've already covered, and I would love for you guys to suggest in the comments down below what foods you'd like to see me cover next. So in these videos, I like to start with the history of the origin of the food, then go into like some cool fun facts about it to kind of like draw you in, keep your interest. Then I talk about the nutritional benefits of it and why we should be eating it, and then I'll show you how I like to cook with it and a recipe at the end. So the early history of Brussels sprouts isn't very well known, but they definitely became popular in Brussels, Belgium. So yes, they're called Brussels sprouts, not Brussels sprouts. So I actually tried to get like a whole branch of them to show you guys how they grow, but I couldn't find one in any of the stores around here, but here's a picture so you can see. And I just think it's like such a funky, quirky looking food. It looks like a mini cabbage tree. It's just so random how it all grows. So looking like a little mini cabbage head, it's obviously part of the cruciferous vegetable family, and that includes some of the foods we know and love, like cabbage, broccoli, bok choy, kale. There's so many in there, and they're so healthful. I was reading an article on Brussels sprouts the other day, vegan things, and I actually learned something new, and this is what sparked my interest to do this video and then start up this series again. So the title of the article was, "Why Brussels Sprouts Taste Better Than They Did When You Were a Kid." So I thought to myself, it's probably an article about like how our taste buds change and, you know, or they mature over time and all that. But then I read the subheading and it was like, no, this is not what it's about. They actually did change. So I got reading the article and apparently Brussels sprouts today are much less bitter than they were even just 20 years ago. And it's all thanks to hybridization, baby. So here's how it all went down. Basically, when our parents were younger or our grandparents were younger, Brussels sprouts were good. Then the 60s came around and they switched to a more mechanized harvesting system. And basically they needed a plant that ripened all at the same time. So the machine could just like, you know, rip off all the Brussels sprouts at once. So they hybridized a plant to do that, but in turn it made it a little bit more bitter, or quite a bit more bitter. And then in 1999, a study was actually done where they isolated the compounds that were making Brussels sprouts bitter. So then some food scientists went back into some old seed banks and they found some varieties that were very low in those compounds, and then they crossed them with the modern ones, and now we have these amazing, not bitter Brussels sprouts that we can all enjoy today. Anyways, I just think that's the coolest story, and I definitely have memories from back when I was younger trying to eat Brussels sprouts and just thinking like they were just terrible and bitter and just like so sulfurous. And I definitely like them more now, but it's because they're different. So if you didn't like them as a kid, try them again. So let's talk about the nutrition of Brussels sprouts really quickly. So I know we don't eat it for protein, but a lot of people don't realize they actually have quite a bit of protein in them if you were to get enough calories. They have 17% of their calories coming from protein. This is higher than quinoa, and you wouldn't really expect that from the old humble Brussels sprouts. So if you ate about 250 calories worth of Brussels sprouts, you'd get about 20 grams of protein. So that's about 30 Brussels sprouts, so you're probably not gonna eat that much. But it is interesting, you know, we always talk about all these high protein food sources, but we don't consider, you know, just the sides that we're having, like Brussels sprouts. It all contributes. But here's some of the nutrients that you'd get if you were just to eat like a normal amount of Brussels sprouts. So it's a great source of folate. This is super important for how we metabolize protein. It's a great source of vitamin B6, which is important for mood and immune health, amongst many other things. It's a good source of vitamin C, provided that we don't cook, you know, all the vitamin C out of it, because vitamin C is denatured with heat. And it's highest in vitamin K. So vitamin K is important for proper wound healing, blood clotting, and especially good bone health. It's a decent source of calcium, a great source of iron. It's got some magnesium, some potassium, obviously full of fiber. It's a very nutritious food. But the one compound that's in Brussels sprouts that make them especially health promoting has got to be sulforaphane. So you've probably heard of this potent antioxidant in broccoli or broccoli sprouts. It's really rich in that, but there's also quite a bit in Brussels sprouts. Its benefits to human health are abundant, and amongst them, it's a powerful anti-cancer. It actually inhibits cancerous cells' ability to multiply. It helps control inflammation, blood sugar. It can help to balance intestinal flora. It's being studied for its benefits of traumatic brain injuries, helps to repair the gut. I know it's easy to hear all this stuff and be like, yeah, it's healthy for us, but sulforaphane is actually on another level. I suggest looking into it, doing a little bit of digging, and just see all the benefits that it can bring to us. It's incredible. So I say these foods are a good source of sulforaphane, but they actually don't contain any sulforaphane in them. They actually contain a compound called glucoraphanin, which after the food has been chewed or cut and it's exposed to air, through some enzymatic process, it turns into sulforaphane. But you can actually help this conversion by adding some mustard seed to it. It actually helps convert up to 4 times the amount of glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. So it's pretty good. And if you guys need some recipes with some mustard in them, there happen to be some in the dressings that are in my new ebook. Just thought I'd do a little plug there. So how to cook Brussels sprouts? Well, you actually don't have to cook them at all. You could just eat them raw, but they're not the best. They're actually not that bad, but they're definitely best cooked. So my favorite way to cook them is to thinly slice them or use like a mandolin slicer. You can use a grater as well, and then just throw them into a stir fry like that. This is my favorite way to have them, how I consume them the most. It's just so quick, so easy, and a lot of people don't think of cooking them this way. So there you go. I like to add them towards the end of the cooking because it really doesn't take very long for them to cook, just a few minutes, very similar to cabbage. So most of us are probably familiar having them like roasted or baked in the oven, whole, or maybe halved with a bunch of other veggies. And I like them that way, but they take so long. So I've got a quicker way to make something similar. Let me show you guys, it's really delicious. So I'm gonna start just by cutting them all in half. If you are using bigger Brussels sprouts and you want them to cook quickly, you could probably quarter them rather than having them, and then this would obviously cook quite a bit quicker. Then you just want to cook them in a pan in about 1 inch of boiling water for just about 5 minutes. 4 if they're small like this. Then you just want to strain and rinse with cold water. This will stop the cooking process so they don't overcook and turn brown and go mushy. Then saute some chopped onions for about 5 minutes. Once those are done cooking, you want to add some pecans, some freshly chopped garlic, a handful of chopped sweetened cranberries. You could use raisins as well. Next, in a small bowl, mix up some tamari, maple syrup, garlic powder, onion powder, and a bit of black pepper. Throw the Brussels sprouts in there, add that sauce we just made, saute for another few minutes, and it's all done. So this is obviously going to taste great as it is, but if you want to bump up the potential sulforaphane content in it, you could always add a quick squeeze of mustard. Alright, so there we have it. 20 grams of protein worth of Brussels sprouts. I'm just kidding. I don't know how many grams of protein are in this. So good. So these are really good. Not bitter at all. You probably don't have to add the maple syrup, but I don't know, I like adding it. You know, especially if you're making it for like, you know, your family or a special occasion or something, you want people to really enjoy these. So yeah, the addition of that, a little bit of salt and pepper at the end, and they're amazing. Considering it takes like a fraction of the time of like roasting them in the oven. All right, so I guess that's it for this video. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm so happy to be bringing the Amazing Food series back. I had so much fun researching for this video and also filming it. And you know, it's always nice that I get to show you guys a recipe as well. So if you like this recipe and you want more recipes from me, definitely check out my new recipe ebook, Easy Vegan Comfort Meals. It's available now. I'll put a link in the description box down below and as a pinned comment as well. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what food I should cover next. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye.